I traveled to a quarry near Bellwood, Texas, and I swear I'll never set foot there again after what I experienced. Let me give you some background so this story makes sense. The first time I explored that quarry, the whole place felt off. My buddies, Liam and Carter, and I went there for some cliff diving after watching a few YouTube clips of people doing the same. We found out it was only about 30 minutes from where we live. Both Carter and I were old enough to drive. I was 16 and Carter was 17, so we figured it was a good idea to check it out. When we arrived, the vibe was definitely unsettling. A narrow dirt road looped around the quarry. On one side, there were some rundown white buildings that looked like old metal storage containers. On the other, a fence surrounded the rocky path leading to the quarry. We drove down this road in Carter's pickup. Signs were everywhere, warning things like no trespassing and blasting zone. There was even a huge white sign saying trespassers will be shot on sight. It's important to mention that in Texas, property owners can legally shoot trespassers, though it doesn't happen often. We decided to backtrack to the start of the road, where there was a gravel parking area near a dilapidated building that looked abandoned for years. Carter parked, and we hesitantly got out, beginning our trek toward the water. While walking, a truck sped past us, and the driver gave us a blank, emotionless stare. It was honestly creepy, but since he didn't say anything, we guessed maybe they weren't too bothered by people being on their land. Continuing, we reached the fence where we planned to climb over onto the rocky trail to the water. We first hit the smallest cliff jump spot, and soon noticed a big snake swimming in the water after just 10 minutes. So, we moved further down the quarry and found a decent-sized cliff about 35 feet high. After checking the water depth, we spent an hour cliff jumping there before getting bored and heading to a bigger cliff. At the far end of the quarry, while walking down a path to reach a larger jump spot, a black SUV stopped beside us. The woman driving, probably in her mid-30s, rolled down the window and shouted, "What the hell are you doing on my property?" We were all caught off guard. I nervously said, "We thought this was public land." She must have known we were lying because she started yelling at us more. Then she said something I'll never forget. She pulled out her phone and said, "Mark, get the gun." Liam, Carter, and I froze out of sheer terror. She told us to follow her and slowly drove about 20 feet to a gate. We followed, apologizing and promising never to come back. She warned that the police were on their way and we'd better get going fast. She pointed down the dirt path leading away from her property. We thanked her and ran as fast as we could, jumped into the truck, and drove off. I wish the story ended there, but a few months later, Carter asked if I'd return to the quarry, and I said reluctantly yes, only if we went with a bigger group. We gathered 5 people and headed back in my car. We parked at a church about 2 minutes from the quarry so the woman wouldn't recognize our plates. Walking down the dirt road to the quarry, we passed several cars. One stopped nearby, and a guy in his early 20s warned us about a black SUV. We laughed and told him the story from our last visit. Afterward, we climbed the fence and decided to stick to the second jump spot to stay somewhat hidden. We were having fun for about an hour when a silver van pulled up at the dirt road's end, about 25 yards away. It wasn't the black SUV, so we didn't panic immediately, but we got ready to run if needed. The van was mostly blocked from our view by trees. Suddenly, we heard 2 loud gunshots very close by. The shots terrified us. The quarry's exit was about 300 yards away, and the dirt road onto the main road around 125 yards from us. I led the way with my friend Aiden close behind. As we moved, I heard more gunshots about 40 yards behind us, at least 8 so far, but when I glanced back, I couldn't see the shooter. We reached the fence, jumped over, and were now on the main dirt road to safety. By a stroke of luck, the guy who had warned us earlier was driving his white truck on that road. We begged for a ride, and he kindly took us back to the edge of the property. We thanked him and sprinted to the car, jumped in, and didn't look back, never to return to that quarry again.